Happy Earth Day, everybody. I thought that was 2 days ago. 420. Apparently, why wouldn't it be the same day? 420's been around forever. Earth Day was started in 1970 something, and it was 2 days after. What the heck are we doing? Earth Day is 420, baby. Let's go. We're talking Florida State football here, and we're talking a tire breakdown. So I'm going to talk about the coaches. I'm going to talk about the offensive players, quarterback included, the defensive players that you have coming back, production coming back. Uh, you have recruiting classes, of course, but some players have not played in the lower classes, freshmen, sophomores, etc. They do not get listed here. This is your depth that you have back. All right. Florida State. Oh, I'm going to go through the schedule as well at the end and give you a floor and a ceiling for your record. Predictions come later on in the season. Let's get started because this could be a longer video. Florida State benefited from the Nick Saban retirement in the transfer portal more so than maybe everyone. They had 7 transfers in from Alabama this season. All right. Quarterback DJ Uyunglele was a transfer in, but not from Alabama. He was from Oregon State, and that's where we're going to start here. Quarterback, redshirt senior. He was 180 for 315 attempts last season, 57% at Oregon State. 2,638 yards for 8.4 average, 21 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. So you guys are going to miss Jordan Travis, I believe, because behind him is Brock Glenn, who is a redshirt freshman, 19 of 51, 37%, 229 yards, 4.5 average, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So don't count on depth at quarterback. You need one, kind of like Michigan does right now, where it's just, man, can someone just step up and take the reins? Or are you going to go get another quarterback to increase competition? That's basically the only glaring weakness of Florida State. They are on this breakdown series because they are a national title contender in my eyes, because they can run through the ACC, and especially with all the depth they have coming back. Of course, all the top teams lose talent to the NFL. Well, this is what's back and what has played, and it's pretty good. At running back, transfer from Alabama, Roydell Williams, a senior, had 111 carries last season, 560 yards, 5-yard average, 5 touchdowns, 58 receiving yards for 2 receiving touchdowns. Keziah Holmes is a redshirt senior, and that's the thing. You're loaded with redshirts. You're loaded with seniors, juniors that have been here and stayed and put in the time here under Mike Norvell, which I will get into here, the coaching staff, after I finish up the running backs. That was supposed to be before them. Here we go. Hey, I'm celebrating Earth Day today. He is a pretty good backup running back, Keziah Holmes. Redshirt senior, 29 carries, 185 rushing yards, 6.4 average, 2 touchdowns, and then 58 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns himself receiving. So the backfield should be pretty good behind this offensive line, which is going to be pretty good coming up. But let's talk about Mike Norvell. As head coach, he is 69 and 32 as a head coach all time, 31 and 17 at Florida State, including the 13-1 season last year, where they got left out of the playoff and then drubbed by Georgia. Was their only loss. And, I feel bad for you Florida State fans for not getting in. I really do. But Michigan would have drubbed you in the first game, and Alabama would have been left out. So Michigan wouldn't have played Georgia or Alabama, and we needed one of those. So sorry you got left out, but hey, it is what it is. Now we're to 12-team playoff, and everyone has a chance here now going forward, whether your quarterback is injured or not. Norvell started at Central Arkansas as a graduate assistant in 2006. Gus Malzahn hired him at Tulsa in 2007. Then in 2011, he got his first offensive coordinator gig at Pittsburgh under Todd Graham. And Norvell followed Graham to Arizona State in the same role. He was back at Memphis as head coach in 2016 until FSU hired him a few years back. So that is what his path has been. Offensive coordinator is a wild path here. Alex Atkins started as a GA at UT Martin, which is his alma mater, in 2007. Atkins was tight end coach in 2008 before going to Marshall as a graduate assistant again. Then in 2010, he was offensive line coach and recruiting coordinator at Itawamba Community College in Mississippi. In 2012, he went to Chattanooga as O-line coach. Then again, he was O-line coach in 2014. In 2016, Atkins was an assistant head coach and O-line coach at Tulane. Atkins went to Charlotte in 2019 as offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. Then in 2020, Atkins joined FSU. Can you guess what position he got? Yes, it was offensive line coach. This guy has been around. Everyone loves his abilities there, so that is great. Then in 2022, he was named offensive coordinator, so a couple of years back. So he is the offense that got you to that 13-1 season. Last season, he was the coordinator then. All right, defensive coordinator. Adam Fuller was at WPI. I don't even know what that stands for or where it's at, as linebacker coach when he started in 1998. He was at Wagner, Richmond, Assumption, at Marshall, at various different roles, but he was DC at Chattanooga and at Marshall. And since 2020, DC for Florida State. All right, let's continue on with the offensive players that they get to work with here. We're talking running backs were not complete because you have this other position, TB, where you have Toafili Lawrence, redshirt senior. He had 69 carries, 463 yards, 6.7 average, and 4 rushing touchdowns. He also had 186 receiving yards, 8.9 average for 1 receiving touchdown. And then Jalen Lucas, a junior, transfer in from Indiana, had 67 carries for 275 yards, 4.1 average, 2 touchdowns, 247 receiving yards, a 7.3 clip, and 2 touchdowns. So stacked backfield for you this season. Tight end. You have a guy back, but that's it. No depth here. You're hurting. As far as known commodities. And there's one, Kyle Morlock, a redshirt senior, had 19 catches last season, 255 yards, 13.4 average, but no touchdowns. So that is what you have at tight end. That's proven coming back. Wide receiver, you got some here, but even the depth is a little bit questionable at wide receiver. You need people to step up, but you do have Kentron Poitier at the X is what Our Lads has you listed as the starter, ourlads.com. is what I took the depth chart off from, and then ESPN is where I went and got the stats from, and we're dissecting it all right here and now. Portier, redshirt senior at the X wide receiver, had 6 catches only, 136 yards, 22.7 average. And backing him up at the X, they had listed Hakeem Williams, a sophomore, 5 catches for 80 yards, 16.0 average, and 1 receiving touchdown. And then at the Z, Malik Benson, a senior, another transfer from Alabama, had 13 catches for 162 yards, 12.5 average, and he had a tutty. And then Darian Williamson, a redshirt senior, backs him up, 9 catches, 127 yards, 14.1 average, and 1 touchdown. Vandreas Jacobs, a redshirt freshman, even gets in here because he only had 3 catches, but it went for 60 yards, 20 average, and he had 1 touchdown on 3 catches. So there's weapons here for you. Even though they're not the most experienced, they are proven here. All right, slot. In the slot, you have listed Ja'Kai Douglas, a redshirt senior, 14 receptions, 243 receiving yards, 14.7 average, no touchdowns, but he runs the ball, 46 rushing yards, had a long of 23. Destin Hill behind him in the slot as a sophomore, 6 catches, 87 yards, 14.5 average, a long of 30. No touchdowns though. And then Deuce Spann, a redshirt senior, is still around, I believe. If any of these are wrong, let me know, Florida State fan, in the comment down below. But I think he's back. He had 1 carry for 23 yards last season. Now, well, there are some backups here, I believe, that at running back, you're deep. They've played. I gotta list them. Are they still here? You gotta let me know. C.J. Campbell Jr. is a junior. 7 carries, 117 yards, 16.7 average, and 1 rushing touchdown. Rodney Hill, a sophomore, 50 carries, 190 yards, a 3.8 average, 1 touchdown, but 83 receiving yards on 5 catches. And then running back Samuel Singleton Jr. is a sophomore, 8 carries, 56 yards, 7 average. And then tight end, there was another tight end, I think. Yes, Marquesian Douglas, a senior. Is he still here? 11 catches, 136 yards, 12.4 average, 2 touchdowns. If he's still here, then that is absolutely a boost for your tight end room. Now, linemen. You have 2 starters coming back, is from what I can tell, and that would be center Maurice Smith, a redshirt senior, and Jeremiah Byers, a redshirt senior. He started last season. Keandre Jones is the right guard. Jeremiah Byers was the right tackle. Both are previous transfers in, and they figure to be starters. One of them again, another one this season. Now on the left side of the line, you have left tackle Darius Washington, a redshirt senior. Was a backup at right guard, but that's okay. He's grown. You can put people there, he's multiple apparently, which Michigan has done in the past, and you can do that. So, and then at left guard, T.J. Ferguson, a redshirt junior, transfer in from Alabama, of course, is figured to be your left guard starter, but you have backups. At left tackle, Jalen Early, a redshirt sophomore, so he's been there 3 years. Julian Armella, redshirt sophomore, been there 3 years at left guard. And then at right tackle, Robert Scott Jr., a redshirt senior, is coming back to fill holes for you on the offensive line. All right, time to talk defense. And it's pretty damn good what I see coming back here for Florida State. All these national title contenders have defensive production coming back at lefty end. You have Patrick Payton, a redshirt junior, 43 tackles, 7 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 9 pass breakups on the defensive line. So watch out for him. He gets his hands up. All right. Marvin Jones Jr. will back him up, according to our lads. He is a junior. He's a transfer from Georgia. 12 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. And then Dante Anderson, even behind him, you're going 3 deep here at the left D line, the DN position. Dante Anderson, redshirt sophomore, 9 tackles last season. All right, let's talk right D end. Sione Lolohe, redshirt senior, is coming in now. Transfer from Oregon State. He had 46 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. Backing him up is Tomiwa Duroje. Did I say that right? Redshirt sophomore, a transfer in as well from West Virginia. 23 tackles, 3.5 sacks. And Byron Turner Jr., a redshirt junior that has been here, had 26 tackles and 1 sack last season. Now let's talk interior. You have them listed at left D tackle and right D tackle. Joshua Farmer is a redshirt junior who is the starter, 32 tackles, 5 sacks from the interior. That's pretty good. 1 forced fumble and 2 pass breakups. And then backing him up is Daniel Lyons, a redshirt sophomore who had 16 tackles. Right D tackle, Daryl Jackson Jr., a redshirt junior, 3 tackles. But in 2022, he had 27 tackles and 3 sacks. So I'm guessing he got injured last season. We didn't get to see him until the Georgia game. And now he's back. But behind him, or ahead of him maybe, Grady Kelly, a redshirt junior, a transfer in from Colorado State. Lesser competition, but he had 35 tackles and 1.5 sacks last season. Defensive line is loaded for Florida State. Watch out. At linebacker, not as deep as maybe you'd like it to be, but deep enough. DJ Lundy, a redshirt senior, will start at the will. 54 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and 4 pass breakups. Justin Cryer backs him up, a sophomore, with 11 tackles. At middle linebacker, it's a question mark because you have another transfer in from Alabama, redshirt sophomore Sean Murphy, who had 3 tackles only for them last season. But Blake Nicholson is a sophomore who had 17 tackles and 1 pass breakup. And Omar Graham Jr. is a redshirt sophomore that had 23 tackles. That's pretty much your proven depth at linebacker. Young guys are going to have to step up. Now the secondary. We'll start with the cornerbacks. Left cornerback and right cornerback, you have them specified here. Fentrell Cypress II is a redshirt senior. Just more upperclassmen here. Not as much, actually, in the cornerback room. But the whole team is just experienced. I love it. And that's why I did a video on you guys, and I can't wait to see what you do in the ACC. Cypress II, the redshirt senior, had 40 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 7 pass breakups last season. And backing him up is Quindarius Jones, a sophomore, true sophomore, 6 tackles he had last season. So you need younger guys to step up there. Right cornerback is Azariah Thomas, a junior, 29 tackles, half a sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, and 10 pass breakups. And Jabril Rawls will back him up, redshirt freshman, 4 tackles, and 1 pass breakup. So, like I said, need a little depth there at the corner position, but your butt position is awesome. Shaheem Brown is a redshirt junior that had 53 tackles, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery, an interception, and 4 pass breakups last season. Ashlyn Barker is a redshirt sophomore that will back him up, 11 tackles and 1 sack. At free safety, Devontae Brown is a redshirt senior transfer from Miami, and I don't even have his stats, man. I missed him. Sorry, but I mean, a redshirt senior transfer from Miami, he's probably your starter. Other than that, it's Conrad Hussey, a sophomore, who had 22 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, and 2 pass breakups last season as a freshman. So, could be that guy. Nickelback, Earl Little Jr., a redshirt sophomore, is a transfer from Alabama. Again, I must have just thought I was done and didn't get the stats for these transfers, but hey, it's from Alabama. He's probably good. He's a redshirt sophomore. And then Kevin Knowles, though, could be the guy. He's a senior. Kevin Knowles is the second. 29 tackles, 3 pass breakups at Nickelback last season. Depth across the board. We got to finish this up with the schedule. What does it look like? Well, Florida State has 3 byes this season because they start their season August 24th, a week before everybody else. And that game is against Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland. I think you will win that game. And then the very next week, 9-2, so that is a Monday, I believe, you play Boston College. That's going to be a win. Then you get your first bye. Then you come home and play Memphis. That's a win. California at home is a win. At SMU is a win. And then in October, the first Saturday in October, you have Clemson at home. And I think that's a question mark for me. I haven't dived into it yet. Predictions are later. But I'm leaving it as a question mark. It's always you're always 1 and 2 in that conference. See what Miami can do. But then you get your second bye right after that game. So that is a very good spot because there's a 4-game stretch here between your second bye and your third bye that is concerning to me a little bit. You have at Duke. I think you win that first game. Then you have at Miami. And then you have North Carolina at home. And then you're at Notre Dame consecutively. 3 out of 4 on the road. I have 3 question marks for them last 3 in that stretch. At Miami, North Carolina at home, and at Notre Dame. I think you will win probably 2 of those games. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, and then you get your third bye, like I said, and then you finish up with Charleston Southern win and Florida at home win for you. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video breakdown of Florida State, let me know. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. Be nice about it. I am just a dependent fanatic. So thanks, everyone, and have a great day out there.